IoT devices are unique. Unique in the sense the IoT devices are much different from the normal standard computers. By saying the standard computers, I refer to the computer which has a keyboard, which has a mouse, which has a CPU, or it's nothing but a server. These standard computers are specifically designed to do any sort of computation, whether it is to calculate the much complicated functions, or to predict the temperature of tomorrow. All such things can be done with the standard computers, whereas these IoT devices are very specific, and they will be supplementing the main activity in which it has been incorporated. We have cars, and the main purpose of the car is to drive, and we have phones. The main purpose of the phone is to make calls, but nowadays we're using smartphones for many other aspects, like taking pictures, taking video, sharing the pictures, and being connected with the friends. But the main purpose of the phone is to make a call. Similarly, the main purpose of the TV is to display the shows, and now it has become smart, by which we'll do even the Skype meeting can be conducted, or the Zoom can be done with the help of the smart TV. But apart from this, these IoT devices are very much unique, and they do only function which is specific to a task. Whereas computer main function is to compute. When I say compute, it can run any kind of program right from the sense, whether it to find the factors of equation, or to do any numerical calculations, pretty much large, like predicting parameters for a satellite launch. It can range from tough to very simple program. Any type of things that can be done, computationally heavy things can be done with help of the computers. Here I have given a flow chart for the loops, while, do while, and the if conditions. These all the things can be done pretty much easily with the help of computer. When you want to compare between this IoT device and the computers are very generic purpose. Generic purpose means it can execute anything which you give. If in the form of a code, if you give anything, right, as I said, right from a satellite launching code, or to predict whether number is a prime or it's even or not, it's a very simple kind of program. It can do anything. It is given in the form of a code. And if you see, and one more point here is that it is not particularly efficient for only a specific type of task. For example, when I have a high-end computer with me, in front of me I have a Mac laptop, given any task, it can execute it. But when I say whether this Mac can be very good at recording videos compared to a DCAM, then that's a question mark, because as I said, this computer is a very generic purpose. It can do any kind of task which is user has been asked the computers to do. But it work efficiency in the sense, like when I recording this video with help of the Mac, and similarly I have a professional who has a DCAM with high resolution, then I can't compare the quality of the video which is produced by this Mac with the video which is being taken in the DCAM with high resolution. As I say, not particularly efficient for a very single specific task. You can do all tasks. I'm not saying that this computer is not at all efficient. It is efficient in some aspects, and for a specific task, and if it is efficient in all aspects, but if it is not that efficient for a single specific task. As I give an example, videos can be taken both with the help of the Mac as well as with the DCAM. But the quality that we are getting from the DCAM is much higher than the video quality which is coming out of this Mac. That is what my point of summation here. And when I say this IoT, I said computers are very general purpose and can do any kind of calculation. These IoT devices are very, very specific purpose. These IoT devices and hardware are much efficient for the particular task for it has been designed. But if you ask this IoT device to do other tasks, it will not do, and even if it does, the performance will be very pathetic. In the sense, it cannot do other tasks. It will be working perfectly when it is used for the task for which it is being designed. For example, if I have a music player, I have an iPod, in which I can hear the music. The sound quality of an iPod is very small, and the iPad will be very small, and I can hear only songs in that. and the clarity will be much high in the iPad when it listen the song. The same song can be played with the laptop, but the quality which I'm getting from the music player will be much superior than the sound quality which is coming out of the laptop, because this music player is designed only for that specific purpose. Again, the same music player can also be used to play the video. And again, saying that when I play a video in the music player, the quality of the video which is being displayed, it will be much pathetic. As I said, laptop can do all. Laptop can play the video, play the audio, but the efficiency of the output will be much lesser than the song which is played in the music player. So the main summation here is that IoT devices are very specific, designed for a very specific purpose, whereas computer is very generic purpose. It can do anything which is come on its way. Next, we're going to see the trends which is being supported for this IoT breakthrough. There are many different trends that is being supporting this IoT revolution. I can say it as a revolution because it has impressed and laid its roots in all walks of human life. The convergence of cost, computation facility, networking, Wi-Fi access, all of these trends have been converged, and it has made this IoT possible nowadays. For example, when you think of a computer in 1945, of course we do had a computer in 1945. It is nothing but ENAC. The cost of ENAC is about 35 million of INR rupees, Indian rupee. Whereas now, if you want to have a laptop with a good configuration, it can be done with 25,000 rupees. Imagine in the due course of time from 1945 to now, how this computation infrastructure has become very cheap. See, of course, the ENAC is a very basic computer, but in 1945 it is about 35 million, and now the laptop is about 25,000. So it says that there has been drastic development in the computation that has been taken place in the last 10 decades. So for reference, I've been giving is the ENAC picture. This is the first computer in 1945. See how big it is. It is occupying a very large space, and there are so many wires hanging here and there, and for doing some calculations. This is how the initial computer has been designed. Now we have a computer even as a form type, doing very simple calculations. So it should be really thanks to the development taking place in the computer field. Now we have IoT devices. As I said, IoT devices are very, very small, and it is very light, and it is designed only to do some specific functions. ENAC function, imagine it is occupying 1,800 square feet, and the weight of the ENAC computer is about 28 tons. Nowadays, laptop, it become much smaller in size, and such that it occupies only 0.05 square feet, and the weight of the laptop is around under 3 pounds. So compare the size. This slide is given especially to compare between the ENAC in 1945 and the laptop which we have now. It will give how much we have developed in the computation infrastructure. This is one such trend. This the size and the computation infrastructure that as we came across all this time is one of the trend that has led to this IoT revolution. The next trend which we come across is the cost. As I said, the cost has been drastically reduced. That is also one trend which has made the possible IoT nowadays. Next, we have this computational capability. The first thing is cost, and the next thing is size, and third thing is that computational infrastructure. Next, we have the computation ability. See, for any in ENAC 1945, it executes 5,000 instructions per second. If we have a normal laptop with a decent configuration in today's scenario, we can execute around 18 billion instructions per second, 18 billion plus or minus. So it can execute 18 billion instructions per second. So imagine the development that has been taking place in executing the instruction per second. Many IoT devices need a significant amount of computation, and it needs very high speed. For example, if you take the example of the car, and there are so many IoT enabled sensors which has been incorporated in it. One main thing we should not forget is that the main and ultimate purpose of the car is to drive from places to places. And these IoT devices, which has been incorporated in a smart car, will do a specific task. For example, take the IoT devices, which is being installed to control the fuel in your car. So the main purpose of these IoT devices is to monitor the fuel level in the car. This fuel level monitoring will facilitate the smooth driving. Of course, any number of IoT devices may be incorporated in the smart car, but all of these smart devices incorporated in the car will supplement the main purpose for which the car has been designed. That is, it will be supplementing the driving. These IoT devices, which has been installed in the smart car to detect the fuel level, it has to sense the fuel at frequent interval of time. When there is a drastic low in the fuel, it has to intimate to the user that you have to fill your tank in the nearest petrol bank. This example we have already seen in the previous slide. So for doing this, to raise this message or raise this alarm to the user, this IoT device will do the computation inside. It has to monitor the fuel level, and when it is the fuel level is below the threshold, it has to trigger a message to the user. These all things are done by the computation. Small devices, nothing but IoT devices. But these computations are done in such a way that it will not take much time, and the computation speed should be much high, so that it will promptly display the message to the user. That will be happening with help of the computation ability. Next, one more trend that has facilitated this IoT is nothing but internet. Internet nowadays is available everywhere, and many parts of the world get connected to the internet. Today, I want to talk to you. I know people who are from different parts of India and different parts of Tamil Nadu. I can easily connect you with internet. This is possible only because of internet and thanks to it. And this is a small diagram which depicts how the internet access has been in India. And the sources of this image is from Times of India. And we will see that how many people, the percentage of people have been connected using internet drastically in many parts of India. If you see in Tamil Nadu, we have around 41 to 50% of internet penetration, and we have low of internet penetration in the Northeast, and Kerala, it's we have penetration of internet from 51 to 70, and North, extreme North, it is 31 to 40. So this shows how internet has penetrated, and it has been a change in human life. See, the internet is slowly turning into one of the basic needs of human, apart from the food, shelter, and clothing, and without which we can't even think of a day. And gone are the days where internet has come to the home with the help of the Ethernet. And nowadays we have this wireless devices, which is pretty much cheap compared to the Ethernet cable enabled internet access. And we have pretty good Wi-Fi devices, and the data cost has been very low. And we have a high bandwidth, which facilitate us to even live stream the videos. If even this video we can live stream it such that you will able to view this video in any part of India without any obstacles, because we have a very good bandwidth in India. These are the trends that supports the IoT. Let me quickly summarize what are the trends. We have the size of the computational device is one trend, cost is another trend, internet access is another trend, computational ability is another trend. These are all trends has made possible this IoT revolution in 2020. IoT is very powerful and is pervasive. Pervasive in the sense it is everywhere now. It is omnipresent. You can say this IoT is omnipresent nowadays. Name any field and we can say how IoT can able to apply in the field such that its functionality is enhanced. And of course, IoT enabled domain, you need to interface with the cloud for storing the data, and we will discuss both how this IoT device is being interfaced with the cloud for storing and retrieving the data. That we'll discuss in the forthcoming webinars. As I said, IoT is pervasive. When you go to home, when you go to work, or you go to any health center, we have IoT in its applications, and it is omnipresent. At home, we can have a smart TV, we can have a smart home system which will contain all your home appliances. At work, we can able to have a motion sensors which will detect your presence in the office, and you can even have an RFID readers that will detect when you enter the office, when you exit the office, how many hours of work you have put in for a particular day. Everything can be tracked if we have an IoT enabled working environment. Even at the health center, nowadays we have a smart watch. Many of them people have been noticing they have a smart watch putting on the wrist, and they can able to monitor the sugar levels, and they can also monitor the heartbeat. And if there is any drastic change in the sugar level and in the heartbeat, they can able to give an information to the family doctor or to the close family members, such that the patient will be immediately treated. And the role of this IoT device in the healthcare is very, very crucial, and its presence has saved many of the people's life in US and other Europe countries. Social benefit of, even I said it's omnipresent, even it IoT is present in the social, making the social life much easy. What food I need, and whether all my accounts are balanced, and it can also save some of the doctor visits of to the human. For example, if you have an IoT enabled smartwatch which will able to detect the sugar level, I need not go to the doctor to test my sugar level. This IoT enabled smart device can able to say what is the sugar level of me today and how many number of insulin doses I have to use. If I am diabetes patient too, I have to undergo for injection daily to control the sugar glucose level in my body. But this IoT enabled device will say that this is when to do that, when not to do it. The sugar level is already low. If I taken the diabetes 2 injection, then it will be sugar level will be much low, and it can lead to even coma. These IoT enabled devices has reduced drastically many of the doctors visit, and no trips to the supermarket. In the sense, we have seen already an example on smart refrigerator where the out of stock items which is running out can be ordered by the refrigerator itself, and it reduces the trip of a user to the supermarket, because these orders can be placed by automatically by the IoT enabled refrigerator. Next, we're going to see about the risk, privacy, and the security issues in IoT. IoT will help us for social isolation. When I say social isolation, as I said, when you have a smart refrigerator, I need not even go for a supermarket, because a smart refrigerator will keep track of the items that is stocked in the fridge. And when the items goes out or goes out of stock, the refrigerator will be smart enough to place the order via online to any of the online shopping portal, and I can get the products to my home. So it somehow prevents the user from the social networking, and that results in social isolation. And this is one such situation in this present scenario of COVID-19. It's an advantage actually. And one risk is that IoT depends so much on the technology and the infrastructure. We need definitely the network connection for the IoT, and it requires power. So we are depending on heavily on this power on the network. And even that if there is some outages or blockouts in the network, then the functionality of these IoT devices will be hang, and it will have a greater impact on the human life. Next, we're going to discuss privacy and security issues in IoT. So when we have a smart enabled IoT enabled devices such as mobile, then it will be we will have a privacy issue such that our location will be tracked. Wherever you go, when you have a smartphone, and your location can be easily tracked, and these informations can be sent to the mobile companies. Sometimes this information tracking the location will be constructively used by the forensics and the police department to trace the criminals. But on the other hand, these options will be exploited by the manufacturer to intrude into the individual privacy. For example, if some person doesn't like to be traced for some unknown reasons. He doesn't like to be traced, and if he use smartphones, then he'll be easily tracked. So privacy is a very big issue when you have an IoT enabled smartphones. Second, health monitor. As I said, when this smart enabled watches or any other smart pacemakers, IoT pacemakers are being installed, this will transmit the health data from the patient to the cloud, and will be stored, and it will be data processing to keep track whether the patient is having this medical records is of normalcy or it is some critical situation. Since the patient records is being stored somewhere in the cloud, again the security issues with the health, with respect to the health record, it's a question mark, because health record is something very crucial and very sensitive, and it should not be shared with other people who is not intended to receive it. Again, when you store it in the cloud, then the security itself is a big question mark. And we have a TV and media. For example, if you if I watch specifically comedy shows or real-time shows on the YouTube continuously, the next time when I log into the YouTube, YouTube will recommend that these are the videos you have to see that you have missed out. Of course, it's a good sign, but one thing you should worry about is that you are being tracked by what you're watching on the internet. So your privacy is again a big question mark. Next is a purchasing habit. A couple of months ago, I purchased a smartphone using one of the online shopping portal. Immediately on purchasing that, for the next 1 week, I have been given recommendation. In whatever site I've been visiting, it is giving recommendation for the mobile cover for which I purchased. Mobile cover and the screen guard. Continuously for 1 week, whatever, irrespective whether it is a social networking site or it is a news site or it is some telemarketing website, I've been constantly throwing upon by this internet about this cover for which the mobile have been purchased or the screen guard, especially for the mobile which has been purchased. So I was very alarmed. I might get been sometimes irritated by this advertisement, but we cannot get rid of because you're being tracked on the internet. And it also be sometimes botheration when you use IoT enabled devices. For example, you stuck a car and hit somewhere, and if you claim the insurance, if you have a smart enabled devices in your car, and it will say that you have never applied the brake on the speed breaker, and this will relieve to the insurance company that it is completely mistaken on your part and you can't get any of the claim from the insurance company. Of course, it is telling the truth, but then it is you are being tracked and the information are being recorded, which is very much bothering in case of privacy. And moreover, as I said, in health monitor in a patient using this IoT-enabled devices, these records can even be tracked by the companies, and drugs can be marketed to you. Again, it's a security breach, but you can't avoid it since you use IoT smart-enabled medical devices. Of course, these data gathered by these IoT devices will be stored in the cloud. And in the cloud, the data security is a big question mark, and of course, it will be tracked, and data will be kept. And purchasing an IoT devices, of course, when you purchase an IoT devices, while purchasing, you will be asked to fill a form in online. Of course, we have a regular habit of not reading anything when some pop-up is thrown on. We just scroll down and click agree or okay. But if you carefully read on purchasing some of the IoT devices, the purchaser or the manufacturer will ask permission from you to keep the records track at their end. Since because we don't have the habit of reading the pop-ups thrown when you are in online, we just have the habit of clicking OK. We just miss to read those instructions, and when you click OK, indirectly we're agreeing that the manufacturer can't read your data. So consumer agreement, we have to be very careful when you purchase IoT devices. Otherwise, the high chance that your data will be accessed by the manufacturer and used for their own marketing or any other purpose for which they can make a good amount of finance. Data may also be used by the insurance agencies. Like if I want to take insurance for my health, and if the insurance company has the physical health records of me through the IoT devices. If you have a smart enabled watch which keep tracks of my heart and sugar level, this data can be easily taken by the health insurance company. Accordingly, they can charge the premium. If you have a type 2 diabetes and if you have a heart problem, then definitely the first premium you're going to take for the life insurance will be much high, because health insurance will automatically collaborate with the IoT device manufacturer, the smart device manufacturer. It will give the data, my health data, to the insurance. And from that, insurance company will be able to predict how many years I'm going to live. And based on the sum assured which I'm going to opt for, accordingly the premium will be last based on my health condition. Before even I relieving my health condition to the insurer will say you have a type diabetes 2 and you have a heart problem. And accordingly, the first premium will be very large. These kind of things will be definitely security bit. So though sometimes, many of the times these IoT enabled devices helps for easy human life, the security and privacy is a big question mark, and that issues is still there. And as I said, the data can be stored in the cloud. Again, the cloud, if they attack, then the personal data will be at risk. So put together, we can say this IoT is a summation of physical object, and this physical object should have an intelligent, and this intelligent which is being added to the device should be connected to the network. If three things are there, the three things in thing, intelligent, and internet is there, then we can call the particular device as an IoT device. And these IoT device will be operated by the sensors and actuators that we'll be discussing in the forthcoming webinars. So put together, the main three components of any IoT device is like a thing, a device, an intelligent part, and the networking part will contribute for the IoT. And this will be handled, these IoT devices will be made functional by the sensors and actuators. This is a vision and growth of Internet of Things for the past 5 to 6 years. If you see the bar chart, it says that connected devices from 2014 to 2021. And this record has been taken from Cisco. It says in 2014, the connected devices is around 13 billions. And in 2019, it is around 23 billions. In 2020, it is 25 billion. And in 2020, that is the next year, the connected devices will be around 28 billion. This is quite alarming, and that really shows how the user is receiving this IoT-enabled devices. And this is on the right-hand side, we'll have a different number of devices enabled with IoT. So this is a good slide which summarize how we have been evolved to this IoT. Before internet, it is only that human-to-human interaction will take place mainly. But slowly with the introduction of internet, the humans are used to transmit the information over the internet through emails or any other platform, information exchange platforms. Next, with the help of Web 2.0, slowly user has started using the internet to get services from internet. Services in the sense like e-commerce or e-productivity. Those kind of services is being done with the help of internet by the people. Next, with the help of the social media revolution in the internet, people started connecting among themselves through social networking sites like Facebook, Orkut, Skype. And slowly, with evaluation of these IoT devices, device and device communicate. That's why if you go through the pre-internet era, it is only human-to-human interaction. Now, with the help of this IoT revolution, device can communicate among themselves, keep tracking, and especially these interaction between the devices are done mainly for human ease of life. One more particular point which I like to emphasize is that IoT is mainly a design and it functions only to make the human's life easy. So this is how the growth of internet has taken place from the pre-internet era to the Internet of Things. Summary, a quick summary of this session. We have discussed what is an IoT, and we have understood IoT in terms of 3 examples, like a refrigerator, how it has been used in transport, how it is used in smartphones, and how it has been used in the smart homes. And slowly we also differentiated between the computers and the IoT. And what made this IoT revolution? There are many trends which we discussed, right from the cost, size, computation ability, instant connection, all of the things, all of these trends have contributed towards this IoT. Next, we discussed about IoT's presence everywhere in every domain. It is IoT pervasive. We also discussed about the risk in IoT, the security and privacy threat in IoT. We also discussed in brief about the vision and growth of IoT that has taken place from pre-internet era to this Internet of Things era. And the forthcoming slides, we're going to next webinar, that is, we're going to discuss about on IoT architecture. These are some of the references which have been used to learn IoT. And thank you very much for attending this first webinar. And if case of any doubts, you can reach me at thiago@cutn.ac.in. Thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow to have a discussion on IoT architecture. Thank you.